What is going on, my Babin brothers? My senior sisters, they just here for another advanced first BW replay analysis. That's right, today, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a continuation of the Nutty lower level game series, the series where you guys submit your games to me. And we look at your mistakes, we laugh at your mistakes, and we learn from your mistakes. So, please continue to submit your games to Deejusproductions at gmail.com. And you might have your game submitted and checked out by me, and maybe it goes on the channel. Anyway, this is part of the lower level series, and we're actually going deeper down into the lower levels. Lately, we've been doing 1,000 rated, maybe 1,100 rated. Now we're going down to the 800. Some of you are like, we want the low levels, we want 700s. You guys love the Numi game. You guys love the Jay the Peacemaker game. You just want some crazy baboonian plays. Maybe it's less about learning and more about just laughing. I mean, people love that kind of stuff occasionally, so it might be a little more funny than educational at some points. You still learn some stuff. But yeah, so these players right here, we have one 800 level player and one 824 level player. So this is, we're talking about the lower end of the spectrum here in terms of Advanced Wars rating. That doesn't necessarily say their skill level is that level. Some people just play for fun, some people don't play seriously. So anyway, it's going to be an interesting game, that's all I can say. And I chose this game because it's a new map, first of all, which we'll talk about in a second, but also because of the CO matchup. Now, you often, in Tier 1, you typically don't see this matchup ever. You see a lot of Von Bolt mirrors, you see a lot of Von Bolt versus Hawk. Some occasionally see Sasha thrown into their Hawk versus Sasha or something. But you never really see Grit, and you don't really see Sturm that much. Well, first, you see Sturm maybe like the second least. You see like maybe Javier's the third least, then Sturm, and the very least you see Grit in Tier 1, because Grit usually gets completely destroyed in Tier 1. Usually you only see Grit in Tier 2 play when he drops down to play the likes of Olaf, Max, and Eagle. But in Tier 1, if Grit faces Javier, it's good game. There's no chance he wins. He just loses automatically. And if he plays Von Bolt, it's also a very challenging matchup. So the only really favorable matchup for Grit is like versus Sasha. And versus Hawk, I'd say he's still at a disadvantage because of the black wave. So even if it's a stallier game, you're in for a big treat later on when you have a lot of units and then a black storm hits and you're gonna take 2 damage to all that. So only real favorable matchup I'd say is versus Sasha and maybe Sturm depending on the map. The larger and wider and more spread out the map is, the more Sturm is. The smaller, more contained and mountainous a map is, the better it is for Grit. And luckily for Grit, this is a more smaller map here. There's a lot of mountains and choke points. So this might play into Grit's hand a bit, so he has more of a chance than he normally would in Tier 1. Now, as far as the matchup Sturm versus Grit goes, usually Sturm bullies the shit out of Grit, let's be honest here. The recons are like just Grit's kryptonite. They cost 4k, they move 8 movement, so even if your artillery shoots it and you hit back with a recon, you're not taking a costing effective engagement. Maybe if you were versus a tank or something, which costs more than an artillery, but if your artillery is doing 5-6 damage to a recon, and the recon's doing 5-6 damage back to your artillery, yeah, you're not really having a great engagement there. And that's to say the recons also are super fast, they have great vision, so they can uncover all of your hidden artillery as well. And then also the Sturm superpower, you have that clumped up ball of artillery as Grit, and then suddenly the meteor comes down and smashes all of them down to 2 HP. And you just sit there and you cry. So for that reason, it's not... Grit has it tough. But this is the map where he's actually going to probably perform decently enough where he can actually compete with the other COs. I still wouldn't pick him. Let's not kid ourselves. I wouldn't pick him. But I like seeing people try to pick Grit, because Grit's one of the more complex COs. I'm making a video in the future about how to play Grit properly. Maybe it's come out by this point. I don't know when I'm releasing videos and all that. But anyway, it's an interesting CO matchup. Now this map right here, it's called Shades of Grey. And I don't know if this guy's like an erotic fiction kind of guy, but I don't know what it's about, but it's called Shades of Grey. It is a 3-base map, and very choky. You can go on the bottom over here, you can go on the top over here, but then you have these mountains in the way, and a lot of forest, so Sturm will find himself getting through these forests pretty easily. He can take shortcuts and go through the shortcut over here without taking the movement penalty due to his day-to-day ability. And then you also have this little comm tower. Now notice it is not connected back here, so you have to actually go all the way around here to get the comm tower. See this little shoal right here? This is the only entry point. Only entry point for this cruiser right here. So that cruiser can sit there. Imagine if you're just playing Javier and you're Grit, you're just never going to kill that cruiser. Like, it won't die. So I would have just said good game, packed my bags if I was playing Javier versus Grit. But anyway, this cruiser is nice. It can actually move off the comm tower. You can actually move it like here or here. You can see what they're building in the bases every turn, so it doesn't necessarily have to stay on the comm tower. You can move it in general directions. You probably want to move it south, because once you get it moved here, you can't put it back there, and you can't go past shoals. So typically you want to go south. You can alternate between these two spaces, see what's being built here with your 3 vision, see what's being built with your 3 vision. You go over here, you're only going to see that one base. You cannot actually go further around. So for that reason, I usually keep it on the comm tower as long as possible till artillery comes in. I just try to shift away and get some intel instead. Turns from blocking into intelligence. But it's also very difficult to come around here, because you're fighting in the middle. You have this one little choke point. You can put an artillery as an enemy over here, lock down the comm tower. That comm tower is not a given. I played one game on this map. My opponent never got their comm tower. I just didn't allow it. I wasn't great even. I just didn't allow it. I think it was even like Sonya or something. Like, you just can't. You can comm tower block. It's not a give me easy comm tower to get. Now, regarding the airport, it's a little bit locked away in the corner, which is actually pretty good for Grit. He doesn't like lots of copters on maps. And Sturm doesn't really either. Both of their copters are pretty trash. 80% firepower, although Sturm does have the extra defense. But they're a little choked off. You have to break open this pipe seam if you want to reinforce quicker, or else you have to go around the long way. So it's not a very dominant in terms of Air Force maps. I mean, there's mountains, so they can be good once they get to the front lines, but otherwise, it's not going to teach too much copter spam, I wouldn't think. I mean, you could. It's a lower income map, so maybe copters could be particularly useful. Not in this matchup, though. Maybe if you were playing as Hawk or Von Bold. Now, regarding Grit being entrenched. See, these mountains are great. The thing is, you can entrench yourself behind these mountains, but you can't really go out into the open. So you're going to be down on a lot of income. If you stop yourself right here and you build a huge wall of artillery, they're never going to get in there. Congratulations. The thing is, you're never going to get out. You know what I mean? And then you're going to have like 15k income, and your opponent's going to have like 25k income. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you can hold the line, but what is your win con here? So typically as Grit, you want to get these, hold for a bit, and then slowly push forward. 1 to 2 to 3 spaces. Follow your infantry walls. Don't outrun your infantry when you're playing as Grit. Make sure your indirects follow behind your infantry walls. Everything is protected. Now, I don't think we're going to see A+ play when it comes to Grit and Sturm here in this Nutty lower level series, but this is what you should theoretically do. You slowly inch forward. You take this property, you slowly take this property, you push, slowly but surely, Build up first, proliferate, then slowly build back. Now, the thing about Sturm, what I love, if you want to counter Grit, it's kind of counterintuitive. You build rockets as Sturm. Rockets? Dude, you say rockets? Dumb! Well, Sturm is an exception. You know why it's an exception? 5 movement, not held back by any of these movement penalties, and it also outmaneuvers Grit's artillery. It shoots farther than his artillery until Grit uses a power. So you can actually like shoot over his artillery and hit them. Like, it's just nice. You can push Grit back. Grit is trying to push you back, but you can push him back with rockets. Now, it's not particularly cost effective because they cost more than twice as much as an artillery, but I typically find myself building at least 2 rockets versus Grit as Sturm. Poland and I played as Sturm versus Grit. I played as Grit, he played as Sturm. He used rockets effectively, beat me in that matchup. Unfortunately, it was a wide open map, so I got my ass whooped. This is a more contained match, though, so Grit has more of a chance. But just saying, don't knock the rockets, okay? Don't knock them rockets. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the game. So, starting on the left, in the black hole, we have Linkashi. Linkashi in the black hole, and immediately, just like, I want intel on the wrong side. This doesn't tell you any, I mean, it could tell you this base right here, but okay. Just immediately moving off, wants to see what's going on. Sees the infantry cap the base, but everyone knows it's going to cap the base anyway, so, okay, I get it. You get the intel. It's not terrible. It's not a terrible move. I would have preferred that, well, actually, he can't see both bases over here. What am I talking about? You can see both bases. Move here, and then you move here. I was wrong. You can actually see both bases from the top or from the bottom over here or the side over there. Disregard what I said earlier. Anyway. Day 3 recon, it's Sturm, baby. Wormy Sturm to the rescue. So he's going to try to put that early pressure on as Sturm. Try to stop some caps. Maybe stop this cap over here, stop this cap over here, stop this cap over here. That's probably the main goal of that recon. I agree with the move. If you're not building a day 3 recon, you're building a day 4 recon as Sturm. You need early recons, especially versus Grit. So I agree with this move by Linkashi. And look at that nice movement over there. That nice movement going straight through the mountain. 0 movement cost. And just in 1 turn, you get vision on the city. So how does he see this? Oh, he does have vision from this carrier. So, or cruiser rather. So you're never going to get that property as Grit early game. Maybe later on when you're doing that said push that I was talking about, you can stop it, or get it. But rather, Yeah, it's difficult. Now we're going to see a lot of recon spam, I believe. Or that's what I should see. So now now the recon's over here, and he can hit that. The cruiser can actually move up, and he can actually snipe that infantry. He saw the infantry move earlier, I believe. So he sees it go. So he knows it's up there now. So he can actually move his cruiser. And he sees the artillery, so he needs to move regardless. So I think that infantry's going to get a little plowed. Donk. And actually, he gets trapped. So should move the carrier first, or the cruiser. I'm going to keep mixing them up, so get used to it. But you got to move it first. Remember, Nutty lower level series, order of units matters. It matters order of attacks, matters order of intelligence, to get fog of war. I understand people wanting to move recons first normally in like engagements and stuff, reveal the most, but in this situation, you want to move that cruiser first. So just a little dumb move, but it's okay. It's not a huge deal. And we're seeing another recon on the bottom, spreading them around. So now this artillery, basically, unless you move to this spot right here, you're going to get shot by this artillery. But that being said, you also need to have vision on that cruiser. So it's not as easy getting a vision on that cruiser as you think. So this cruiser's probably going to maneuver around, and it moves up here, then the artillery's going to have to follow him. And then it's going to move again. So it's not that easy hitting that cruiser. And honestly, it gives you charge as well. So that cruiser, it costs, what, 18k? So when you kill that, you're going to get 18k charge. So that's not bad. So you're going to get earlier grit powers in this game, earlier stern powers, and generally you're going to have earlier powers, which is better for some COs, worse for some other COs. Also, as grit, you probably want to keep this cruiser alive. So during a, say, Sturm power, Sturm superpower, maybe the missile redirects to hit it. Probably not, but you never know. So regardless, this infantry retreats to this mountain. I probably would have just hit in the forest, because now he's going to hit you. Although he would hit you in the forest too, because I guess he moved the cruiser right there. So we're seeing early artillery's double base skip by Tgeorge over here. Tgeorge of the jungle. Don't like that. Terrible move. I would build a recon here, personally. You need vision. You want to see this cruiser, you want to hit that cruiser. You want to see your opponent over here, you want to see your opponent. There's mountains, which do provide vision. I still think you should build a recon here. Next turn, you can build some more artillery. You're going to need a recon later on. Don't kid yourselves. Or maybe even a tank or something, but was this a base skip? Did you only have 6k? Yeah, you had to build a recon there, or 3 infantry at least. Don't base skip this early in the game. Base skipping, it has its time and its place. Not in the first 10 turns, typically. Maybe once in a while you can, but really not in the first 10 turns. Avoid it at all costs. The unit count thing snowballs. You're going to miss out on some early cappings. Like, this guy is all by himself to cap these 2 back properties. If he built an infantry here, he could come back and cap. He could bring it up north. He could put some pressure on this comm tower. He could try to cap these. Like, there's so many possibilities. He could use this infantry over here, have more pressure over there. He could do some join caps. A lot of opportunity cost is lost by Tgeorge, not King of the Jungle. Anyway, recon comes in, beeples, hits only 3 damage. Neither of them have their comm tower. They're going to do minimum damage. The cruiser literally didn't move at all. It's just like, Actually, will die this turn if he wants to kill it and base skip again. And just a dumb move here. Well, okay, I see. The recon will see you if you're here. I would have probably moved down this road though, because you want it to be forward so you can move it forward and move to this forest afterward. If you're over here, you're not going to reach the forest. If you're right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can reach the forest. But if you're over here in the corner, snugged away, I don't like it. But he wants to break the pipe seam, which is not even a pipe seam you necessarily need to break. Sure, the airport's there, but you're great. You're not going to really be copter spamming that much. It's not really an effective unit to have. And I just don't like that. You want to kind of cut things off, too. You don't want to add another little area your opponent could get in. You kind of want to keep that fortress intact. I don't like that. The artillery is much better doing pressure, putting pressure on the opponent. Go in this forest over here. The recon can't kill it. And put this infantry like in front of it or something so you can't hit it with the recon or something like that. I just don't like that passive artillery. You don't want to be over aggressive with your artillery, but you don't want to be passive as hell too. Like, put some pressure with them or else you're just going to lose. And this recon's going to beepity beep 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 over here as well. And now we're seeing on, so this is one of the misconceptions with grit. All you can build is artillery. Arty. 3 artilleries in a row, no other vehicles. All he has is infantry and artillery. This is not how you want to play grit. Artillery are important. They're the backbone of your army. This should probably consist of like half your army, if not more, maybe 60%. But you need tanks. You need recons. You need some copters. You definitely need anti-air. This is not how you play grit. Some people get in their mind and they just go to the extreme. I'm playing Sammy. Build 20 mechs. I'm playing grit. Build 20 artillery. Like, it just, if I'm playing Sturm, build up 20 recons. I mean, with Sturm, that might make a little more sense than the other two, but regardless, you don't want to go too crazy with the artillery. You need some support units to deal with him. Like, he has no tank to defend this. He has no, like, nothing to defend this over here. He's just sitting duck over here. Cluckety-cluck, he's gonna get fucked. Like, you need to have some sort of defense. And this is out of position completely. So he's not gonna get this property. He's gonna find himself at a disadvantage. So, you hate to see it. But anyway, he might get this property over here, but then, there goes the cruiser. Sturm gets his charge. Everyone's happy. And now, the artillery moved next to the pipe scene, the most passive place it could possibly be on this map. Maybe other than this over here. This is so passive, man. Okay, the recon won't capture the HQ, but is he really going to go for an HQ cap on day 7? Like, that artillery is just unnecessary. It is so passive, it doesn't defend this property. It only defends the HQ, that's literally all it does. It can't even hit the pipe seam, which was seemingly there in the first place. That artillery is just not doing shit. That artillery is twiddling its thumbs. It's just sitting there. I hate that artillery, man. I hate it. And then this interrupt that's just so feeble. You're not going to stop that. That recon's going to murder you. This infantry will murder you. Everything's going to murder you. This is an aggressive cap. That's a Mang's infantry. Tgeorge, clearly he doesn't know how to play grid, which is fine. On the lower levels, grid is one of the harder COs to play, alongside Sammy, alongside Sturm. He's not as intuitive as the other COs are. So I understand the struggle. But you got to watch the Deejus vids. Learn a little bit. I swear that grid vid's coming out soon, so I hope that helps out, y'all. But just like the artillery here, like, okay, you see it. It's like, okay, I won't attack into that. It's that easy. So he's probably going to move this to the middle. He does. That infantry's going to die next turn, probably combine the tank and the recon. He's going to get the property, but he's going to lose the infantry. And this artillery is not going to be able to get out of this little cluster cluck over here and support that infantry. So it's deady dead. He has nothing even remotely close to the comm tower over here. Looks like Linkashi is going to get his comm tower next turn. So Grit's in a bit of shit right here. He's slowly pushing forward the artillery, though. Like I said, Grit is more of a methodical, slow push CO, so his time to shine isn't yet. Sturm has a strong early game, so maybe it looks a little lopsided now, but you're already starting to see the effects of it. 20 unit count, 14k. So you're gonna see a lot of damage being done early by this the Sturm player. So that recon's gonna murder the 6 HP infantry. Actually, probably live. Oh, what the? Okay, here's lower level shit right here, man. Kill that infantry. Why are you killing this off, man? You know there's artillery there. Maybe it's in the forest. Maybe it's right there. I think maybe he thought it was in the forest. I don't know if it could have reached. It could have reached. So maybe he thought it was in the forest, and he's like, I'll reveal and attack, and then the tank attacks. But in the end, it just revealed that, and now that is a dead recon. So, you lost a recon for nothing. I would have killed that unit right there. Katongus, you're not getting this property. I don't think Tgeorge is getting that property anytime soon. He's got the most passive-ass artillery as I've ever seen over here. Whoop-de-doo-dah, zippity-yay. He's doing his own airport lock over there to seemingly kill off that unit there. Alright. Yeah, the HQ cap is not going to happen. I think he's got burned in the past with an HQ cap, and he was like, no, I'll never let it happen again. Like, the scars are still showing. And now, this guy, really? You think you're going to be able to cap that? Oh, look, he doesn't have enough infantry walls, but he does have 2 artillery. And because Linkashi blunders recon, he doesn't have the intel that he normally would have over here, so he has no idea about these units. The tank only sees this far, so everything is not out of view. He saw the infantry slink by onto that city over there, but that's all he knows. So now the artillery is starting to proliferate, so Grit's getting a little more comfortable. Getting his bearings. He's still behind 5k on caps, and it's going to get worse. But he's got a shit ton of artillery. Like right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 artillery day 10. That's insane. That's literally insane. He's going nuts with the artillery. So, okay. You need some vision, though. He's got the vision from the mountains. He might need some anti-air as well. If there's a copter, he has no answer whatsoever. So, all he has is artillery. Okay. We'll see how they do. And now he's going to lose this property that he worked so hard to gain. And he's going to kill the cruiser, move forward. I'm assuming more recons, more tanks. Honestly, you shouldn't tech off versus grid as well. Build some anti-air maybe, but like medium tanks don't make sense. Neo tanks don't really make sense. Build tanks, recons, copters. That's all you really need. You don't want to tech up versus grid because they're still going to die to the artillery fire. They're still going to die to the missile fire. You don't want to have bombers as Sturm anyway. So you might as well just keep them light, keep them fast. 6 movement, 8 movement with the recons. Like keep it light, keep it fast. Just as I say that, Linkashi builds a medium tank. Okay. Interesting. Don't recommend it. but it happened. So that's going to move forward. The cruiser has no idea about it, at least. It's going to die next turn or come close to it. Oopsie. So we'll see how that medium tank does. I'm going to give you a little plot. Spoiler alert, I haven't even watched the entirety of the game in a while, but I believe it doesn't do shit. So, see how the medium tank does. And now he's blocking. So it looks like Grit is never going to get that comp tower. And this recon is perfectly placed. Look at this recon. It sees all 3 bases simultaneously. Just keep replacing this with another recon, and you can see all of your opponent's builds every single turn. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh man, that'd be so nice to have there permanently. But now this tank, dongs, gets hit first. Tries to interrupt that, that's not gonna happen, but you can try your best. Slowly trying to get this property over here. That's a little ambitious. He has no artillery cover over there. Kills off the cruiser, but soon Grit is gonna have that CO power, so these tanks are in the danger zone. Unless he backs the blup up. The recon comes in, you know there's at least an artillery in this area, so that recon is dead. Simply to kill a 5 HP infantry. I would have just killed it with this infantry that's on the city, but, you know, live and you learn. Tank comes into the fire. Honestly, if I'm Sturm, I just take all these properties and let him come to me. You're going to have a huge amount of income. Even if Grit builds up all these artilleries and shits, you're going to have like 10k more income. It's worth this to chill. You're not facing Eagle here, alright? You're not going to have like a $1 billion lightning strike murder you, even if you're ahead in income right here. You're going to have a clump of units, and when you do fight, you're going to have that Sturm meteor come down and smash his units. So, honestly, be patient to Sturm. There's no rush. Don't fight into this bullshit over here. Just take all the middle properties. Don't allow the comm tower. Build a rockets here. Put the rockets here. Never allow him the comm tower. You're looking good. Never allow him this property here. You're looking good. And you're going to have an insane income lead. Right now, it's 21,000 to 13,000. That is nuts this early in the game. That is nuts. Bye-bye Riki. Bye-bye tank. Or the tank's going to live for now, at least. But look at all these artillery. That's all he has is artillery. That's crazy. He's getting the unit count, though. He's getting kills. Oh, actually, not really. Kills to death, he actually has more deaths than kills. So, oofa. You don't want to have that as Grit. You don't want to have that. But oof. Now look at that income. It literally is 10k. 23,000 to 30,000. He can just pump out 2 artillery and an infantry every turn. That's all he can build. Build like stealths or something at some point. Like, I don't even care. Like, you're gonna have so much income more than your opponent. Chill. Get these properties, chill, build up a shit ton of army, build 50, 60 units, I don't care, but you're gonna have so much better units than your opponent. It's gonna be nutty. But I have a feeling in the Nutty lower level series, people like baboons, like charging in, lose all their units. They're ahead completely in everything, but then they just charge straight into the fire. It's like a burning building, and just like, oh, save it, and then you run in and just burn yourself to a crisp to death. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. And another medium tank. Don't tech up versus Sturm, folks. He's attacking. He sees all this stuff. Okay, look at this. Okay, never mind. I was about to say he saw this first. Now look at these 3. That is 100% dead. That's gonna get weakened. Like, and he's still fighting into it. He's like, you know, I'm committing. But now, boomba, 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 boomba. I'm surprised he didn't enter. Oh, he's gonna use this one. I was about to say, like, boomba. And look at these little wimpy little Grit infantry. So he has no comm tower, can't even hit or come even remotely closer to hit KO. So he has 2 fronts over here. Built his first missile. That basically makes him need the base skip. He has such little income. He needs the base skip to build a freaking missile. So the beepity comes in. He's safe for now. As Grit, remember, you want to use your CO power more than your CO superpower. Grit's CO power is much more cost effective in terms of powers than his CO superpower. You get the same amount of actual damage in his CO power as a superpower, you just get the 1 extra range. So typically you just want to spam the power over and over and over. Similar to Javier, don't use the super CO power, just keep using the CO power over and over. You're not going to find that much more utility. And now the Recon's like, I found the den, the nest of the Arties. And once you find the nest of the Arties, you don't live. It's like getting into a spider web. Like, I found the spider web. And then Shabolba, or whatever the hell its name, comes in and murders Hagrid or something. I don't know. Is it Shabolba the one in that, or is that the one in Lord of the Rings? I don't know. Big ass spider's gonna murder him, though. That's what I'm gonna say. So he's proliferating. He's picking up on it. He's like, okay, this is bad. Base skip. You need to get your unit count, boy. Boom, boom, boom. So now Grit, he has the impenetrable wall, per se. But in terms of value, he's pretty far behind. We're seeing an APC, so that tells me a few things. Probably going to build a stealth. When you see an APC like this and not a T-copter, that usually means for refueling. Refueling what? APCs, rockets, maybe artillery. So I'm expecting a stealth. I'm expecting a stealthy here. If you're wealthy, sometimes you build a stealthy, sometimes. But look at this. You can't go into that, but look at this income lead. It's ridiculous. Is there a day limit? I forget. I think this was a live game, so I think there was a day limit. So honestly, if you're starving, you just chill back. But you can also blunder it like a baboon. Let's not forget that. And builds the APC for God knows where. There's no stealth. Okay. But he's going with the... This is the most half-assed shit I've ever seen. What the hell? He's just gonna murder all his units. Oh, Lord. This might be a massacre. And then he do... Dude. Move your infantry here first, and then reveal everything. Then you can decide to attack. No. He moves his units in blindly. Gets tracked. Before moving his simple infantry over here that will literally reveal everything. His copter, all this stuff is going to die. There's a superpower coming. There's at least a CO power coming. Oh my gosh. It really matters what order you move your units, or else you're going to get clapped. And this is going to be, look right now, 50% advantage for Linkashi over Tgeorge. 10 unit advantage, 10k in income. Like, he's obviously winning. But after this, it's going to get ugly. So we're going to see Tgeorge using his super or his CO power. Snap attack. Okay, so he's using his CO power. Smart move. And it's going to do a shit ton. Boonga. Bonga. Dingy. Donga. Bonga. I'm just going to keep saying stupid shit. Boom. There goes the copter. Okay, yeah, okay, kill the infantry over there. Boom. Dude, attack the full HP tank. What are you doing killing with 2 HP? So his unit attack choice is a little questionable. Like, this should attack this far away tank. Like, attack the farthest away thing you can. Put this infantry in the mountain and reveal first off. Like the other opponent, you want to get vision first. Put it in the mountain over here so you can see if there's anything on the city. Does not see that. He kills off some tanks there at least. Kills off a copter. Builds his rocket. Alright, look at that range. I mean, I don't love rockets as grit. Usually artillery do the same thing better. But, you know, whatever. If you're going to be hunkered behind this for the longest ass time, sure, maybe a rocket makes sense. But anyway. Comes down, Neo Tank comes in. He's teching up. He's not listening to Deejus. He's not a disciple of Deej. The copter comes in. The other one died to this missile, and he's like, I know where it is. I'm not dying to that. But then there's 2. So he's seeing what's in the base. Well, actually, he doesn't see shit over here. I don't know why the helicopter's there. Doesn't reveal anything. Just put a recon there. But now, he's doing the strong side, weak side. He's going all in at the bottom. Everything died up here. So he's like, I'm staying away from that. Does the interrupt over here, but not for long. Boom, goes the copter. Boom, infantry. Boom, 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 boom. Moves the rocket forward. Is he going to kill off? Dude. Can he reach that tank? Oh, I guess he can reach the tank. Okay, so the tank's gonna live for now. Oh my god, look at all those artillery. Slowly but surely, he's building the big boy rockets. He double base skips to build a rocket. And he's actually ahead on unit value. After that last turn, like... Oofa. He's got double the kills and deaths. I mean, look at the value. He's taken 30,000 in damage. He's done 100,000 in damage. So Grit's doing really good in terms of kills to death. As he should. He needs to if he wants to win. However... Linkashi, he's got the big boy Sturm's superpower, and it's going to hit either here or here. Probably down here because of the rockets. So you're going to expect that this turn probably? Is he going to hold on to it? I think I should just use it immediately. Although he might use it where he uses it first and then attacks it and cleans up the scraps afterward, which is not a bad move. So he's getting in position first. He's building Neo tanks. He's teching up. He's really doing the exact opposite I would do. Just build 3 tanks every turn, maybe a copter every other turn or something like that. Like, you have so much funds. Like, build the fast units, build the recons, build the tanks. You're not going to one-shot these artillery with a Neo tank anyway, because you have less firepower. Like, you're not going to be able to wall break any better with a Neo tank than in medium tank and tank. Just keep the small, quick units, okay? Get the artillery, or air-to-air. Grit hasn't built a single copter yet, which is not surprising. His freaking fat-ass artillery's been sitting on their copters. Or the airport the longest time. Then, ba-dong! Another Another death. Another death. Another death. Look at these kills. Boom, boom, boom. Even that 3 HP is killed. The kills to death is really heavily in favor of blue right here. And he's building an APC on both sides just to fuel them up. They're using so much ammo that he's actually refueling them with APCs. That's nuts. But here comes the meteor strike. The superpower. Bonk. Wow. You see that right there? Usually you see like a Hawk superpower, like it's the opposite of this. One big bonk, 50,000. Bonk! And now you pounce. The thing is, he wish it was down here, and then he would pounce and pick up the scraps like a hyena after like a weakened lion or something like that. That's how a hyena makes, by the way. But instead, he hits the weak side over here. He has no idea. Well, actually, he does. I think it shows the meteor. So if I'm him, front shift over here and beat the ever-living shit out of this side. Because this side's strong as hell. You're not going to beat in the full HP rockets, full HP artillery. There's missiles over there as well. You're not breaking into that. Go where he's weak. Let's see if he does that. No. He uses the... What the hell is this shit? What the... Okay, he's going in. Oh, maybe he can one-shot it with a Neo tank. Maybe I was wrong with that calc, but... Okay, well... This is not good for Linkashi, but Tgeorge is going to be a little in trouble too, because Linkashi uses superpower, meaning Sturm has 10% extra defense and offense, so he effectively has 30% defense on all his units, and if they're on the forest, they have 50%, likewise if they're on the city, they have 60%, on plane, 40%, so it's going to be harder to kill those units, but Tgeorge does have a trick up his sleeve. He has the grit. Super snap, or snap attack, excuse me, boom, boom. And look, just like that earlier, Tgeorge already has the unit count advantage. Already. Crazy. He was behind 10 units like 3 turns ago. But now, bonk, bonk, bonk. And he got more K. Look, now the unit's only 7,000 difference instead of 10,000, 7,000. And look, right now, he's creeping towards the top over there. He's creeping towards that. Man, I gotta make this map a little bit. Rezone that map. That bad boy map. Let's rezone that shit. Doop. Make this a little smaller. Anyway, so he's moving towards the top. He's threatening this city over there, so you better watch out. He's you gotta heal him, dude. Gotta keep your unit count up. He's combining all his units. I don't like that. But at least at the bottom, bonk, 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 bonk. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Didn't kill one. He only killed one medium tank and weakened one tank and weakened the Santerre. So that actually wasn't so bad. Now the medium tank, he's just grinding in here now. And now he's just on a nasty little attack right here. He's super committed. He can't back off now. And I won't back down. He's attacking in. Ooh, doesn't get that kill because then the recon would like to come in and maybe get some other... The infantry can come in here, get attacked, and start attacking in this city over here. So he's trying to infiltrate a little bit. Not quite infiltrating enough. He's putting his own artillery. That's another thing you don't build versus grit. Your own artillery. They just suck. I don't care if you're Sturm. I don't care who you are. Don't build artillery versus grit. Rockets, maybe. Artillery, they're garbo. How are you going to use an artillery versus grit? Artillery defensive. You need to be on the offensive versus grit. Grit's not going to be like coming into your forest and like, oh, I got artillery here. Surprise! No, you're attacking him. He's still surprising you. Your artillery, unless you throw it on the front lines like this, is not going to be in the fight. And now it's just going to die. So, don't know about that. But it's day 19. Like I said, this is a live game. I think there's a 30 or 35 day limit. So Sturm better kick it into, or Grit better kick it into overdrive. So, he's going to capture this property, and he can't be interrupted. So it's going to be 16 to 21. 5k, slowly but surely. Grit. He's sneaking in. This Grit, he's got Grit. Hit. Weird and, okay, interesting engagement. Boom, boom, bonk, 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 bonk. He needs more. He's low on his artillery. He's actually been a little too aggressive up front. Now these things are slowly breaking through. He's going to kill the infantry, going to kill the APC, he's going to kill that with the Neo tank. And he can actually bust on through if he does his move order correctly. But sometimes he doesn't do that. And he doesn't. Kill this infantry. Kill the APC. Neo tank one-shots out on the road. I guarantee it. Recon comes in. Beepity beep right there. You can hit these things even over there. And then you're looking really good. Real juicy hits right there. But instead, he will back down. As the song goes, apparently. And so he did all that for nothing. Cool story, bro. Cool story, bro. And he's starting to build bombers. I don't know if you didn't notice earlier, but there's missiles. And, okay. Don't tech up risk grid, folks. Don't tech up risk grid. Okay. You much prefer to see 3 tanks than 1 bomber right here. Just imagine. Get that unit count back up. But bonk, 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 bonk. Builds another APC because you can't have too many. So now they're seeing the front shift. It's a very slow front shift. He's not really moving them the maximum distance. He's kind of like a half-assed front shift. And Grit's going to see this. He can see these Neo tanks here. He's not even being discreet about the front shift. It's very obvious front shift in play right here. See how Tgeorge reacts. He can't really front shift all this. What's he going to do? Is he going to move forward, try to get this property? Is he going to try to shift up front, up north? What's he going to do with all these units down there? He can't really afford to just sit there, but he is. So he's going to be this weakened army blob over here by the Sturm superpower. He's going to be up against the full might of the Linkashi army. But the Linkashi army is not moving very forward at all. He's actually being very slow about it. And under his watch, Tgeorge of the jungle is trying to get this property over here, sneak that in, and then it's going to be 4K difference. Actually 3K. 3K difference. So will he be able to sneak it around? But he might lose this property over here. He needs to somehow stop Black from recapturing that property. And it's going to be a hard thing to do, especially when you have 2 Neo tanks, 2 bombers, and a shit ton of units over here. But Linkashi's being pretty passive. You gotta block this front part, dude. You know, there's an APC, but you gotta block the front part too. Builds another missiles. He sees the bombers. The bombers, like I said, you have teched up units. You want to keep them concealed. Hide your Neo tanks. Hide your wife. Hide your bombers. You don't want to make it obvious for your opponent. Oh, he has a bomber. I'm just gonna build more missiles. Oh, he has a copter. I'm gonna build more anti-air. Like, keep those things hidden. Okay. Have the element of surprise. And he easily interrupts that cap over there. I mean, he's gonna lose the infantry though, so it's not all sad. That missile is gonna murder that. Recon's moving in. He's getting that cap again. Boonga, bonga, Timmy, Tonga. So he's gonna interrupt that, no doubt, because he needs it. It's a live game. Puts this artillery in this forest, I guess. Move this one forward in that forest so it covers that. No. Just wanted to do 2 damage to that infantry. I don't know what the long-term game plan is here, but that infantry ain't dying. He's gonna cap that property. And now, beep beep, bonk. Here comes the bomber. Neo tank. Wow, what a great engagement. Neo tank attacking a mountain infantry. Bomber coming in, attacking another infantry. These are really bad engagements here. This is gonna be ugly. Pop CO power here. This is gonna be an ugly turn. Linkashi, you gotta have better, like, dude, get your recon in first and like, oh, you're gonna lose everything, man. You're gonna lose both your bombers. Bonk, bonk, and just like that. Boom, boom. 44,000 down the drain. Boonk, bonk, bink, boonk. But I'm gonna make all sorts of sound effects. It doesn't do justice how damaging this turn is. And then he's moving forward with all his infantry and stuff over here. So he gets the cap. He stops his cap over here. He can't recap over there. And now, like that, Tgeorge is almost double the unit value. He's ahead in the unit count. The only thing he's behind, 3K. This is becoming a crazy comeback, folks. Day 25, though. Remember, this is a live game. It doesn't matter all these winnings unless he caps. There's a 30-day limit. I remember now, 30-day limit. But here comes a meteor strike. After all that damage, donk. But unfortunately for him, the fighting's up here, and it's hitting down there. So that's good for Tgeorge. I mean, that did a shit ton still. Just another big old bam, 50K, bonk. Just like a rock hitting you on the head, bonk. And, but look, hell, he could even get this property, maybe. He could maybe get this property, and then he can win. What can he do? But Linkashi, he's not giving up. He won't. I'm back. I'm down. I don't even know how that song goes other than that chorus. But boonga. Medium tank comes in. Donk. He's unrelenting. He's unrelenting. Tgeorge has a stiff resistance. Boom. Boom. Bonk. 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 And smart move, don't attack. Keep that full HP. Make sure it's harder to pump through. And he's going for the property over here. Kills that off. Has no missiles though. He has nothing, no answer for the copter. He needs artillery. This guy literally has not built a single direct attack vehicle. Not one tank. Not one recon. Not one medium tank. Not one neo tank. Nothing. Not one copter. Not one bomber. Nothing. All he has built is indirects and infantry. That is all he has built. And APC. That's it. That is insane. Not even a mech. He has built 4 units this whole game. Artillery, infantry, rockets, missile. That's it. APC. 5. That is insane. This guy is taking role-playing grit to the next level. Next thing you know, he's going to be wearing that little beanie cowboy hat or whatever. Drinking possum spit for breakfast. Like, what the are you doing, man? Oh my god, this guy loves playing like grit. Okay. Copters come in. He's going to break through. Is this the big turn? Bonk. Oh, he hits it. Oh, he hits the... Oh, he's getting some juicy hits now. Boom. He's finally breaking through. He's finally breaking through. After all that damage done, he's breaking through. He's slowly getting... Look at all the damage he's taken, though. He's taking so much damage, but he's not done. He's fighting. But he wasn't able to stop it. He ran out of time. This is a live game. He ran out of time. He couldn't build anything. I don't think he built anything over here. He ran out of time. He has extra funds. He has 50,000. He's like, oh, gotta go. But then Linkashi, 2K. Day 30. It's getting close. Oh, he can capture this property and tie it. Hell, he can even go for the HQ maybe. APC comes in. Beep, 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 beep. Get the artillery missile over there, dude. They're running out of time. They're low time. Oh, they're desperate. He needs to cap this. He needs to. He's fighting back over here. Boom, boom, bong. He runs out of time. He can't even build his own units. He couldn't cap this. Day 28. He has so much money. He's just buying whatever the hell he can. He's got 1 or 2 minute increments. Gets the base lock. Boom. Gets the rocket over there. Gets the cap over here. Tgeorge resigns. He realized in 2 days, you can't capture this property. You can't capture this property. Well, maybe he could. He somehow goes that. Maybe he could. But he realized, or he thought he couldn't, and he was ahead in unit value. He was ahead in unit count. He was only 2K behind. Granted, this is looking pretty bad over here. I'm not gonna lie. He got through. He got a base lock. He's murdering all your units. So I think Linkashi had this one regardless. But damn, son, that was a brutal-esque fight. That was not a clean fight by either player. That was some grungy stuff right there. This is not a professional boxing match. This is like watching your aunt fight your other aunt. Like a cat fight. 40-year-old aunt is screaming at you, scratching. It's ugly, but you gotta watch it. It's a very entertaining. You get off of Boris! You know, they're just fighting. You're just sitting there, you're trying to eat your Thanksgiving turkey, but they're just fighting each other, blood streaming everywhere. You gotta watch it. Just like this game, this was not pretty. This was a non-fight. This was crazy. We learned some stuff from it, though. Like, number 1, as Grit, you can build something other than indirect units. Literally, you can build whatever you want. Hell, you can build a Neo-Tank. You can build whatever you want in your wildest dreams. And it actually will be good for you. Like, imagine if he had better vision. He'd have better engagements, killing off other units. He might have even prevented some of these caps from happening earlier on if he had vision of it. So, you can build other things in indirects. And then if you have something here, it can block better than an infantry or an indirect over here. If you had a tank here, a medium tank, good luck breaking through that, right? Like, it's pretty hard to break through. So, you know, you can build some other units other than indirects, just saying. And also for front shifting purposes, like earlier, Linkashi moved all his units north and pounded the shit. He ground pounded the shit out of Tgeorge, because Tgeorge couldn't move his units up here. If he had some normal direct units, he could have reinforced the top lines over there. He could have really helped out. But unfortunately, he was never able to front shift. He never able to front shift the entirety of the game. That's the sad story of Grit. He never got his comm tower. He never even got this property in front of his comm tower. And for that reason, Tgeorge got sturmed like a worm. But yeah, that was nutty. I'm trying to think of some positives from the player. Linkashi, don't tech up with your... That's not a positive, but don't tech up versus Grit, just as a heads up. I think he had some good breaking. Like, he broke through over here. It was very difficult to break through. It wasn't pretty, but he broke through eventually. So that was pretty good. He had some pretty good movement, turn, order stuff. Not terrible engagements. I mean, it could have definitely been worse. I liked his early game pressure with the recon. I mean, he could have done a little bit more damage using, you know, the cruiser over here to reveal, and then he could have attacked in the forest or attacked over on the city. But I think overall he played pretty decently. Didn't really completely roleplay his grid. I mean, he had enough recon so he played well his grid in the early game, but he didn't really adjust to later on. Like I said, you want to adjust later on. If you're playing versus grid, you want to have some fast units. You want to keep the recons coming. Kind of stopped building recons. I mean, he still had one at the end, but you typically want like 4 or 5 maybe plus versus grid. So keep them pumping. You don't need to keep up. Once you tech up, you can go back. Once you build a neo tank, it's not like I'm done with tanks. I'm done with neo tanks, medium tanks. I'm only doing neo tanks. Like, you can go back to your roots. You can build some recon again. You can build some normal tanks again. Once you tech up, you can go back. Okay. I see that very frequently. Someone builds a big boy unit and they're like, well, this is how I go from now on. Like, no, keep the normal units coming, man. But yeah, that was nutty, man. That was a unique CO matchup. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys were thoroughly entertained by this sheer baboonery of this all. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.